Hey guys, those crows are a bit noisy out there. I've made my way to Sydney. Now, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a video. Well, I actually did one, but yeah, video card messed up on me, so I had to so I'll redo another one now. And yeah, I went to download it. It said it wouldn't download, so so I'll just go over the last video I made. There's a couple of questions in there. So I wanted to wait a couple of weeks to get some answers, and we've got a few here. So we'll just go through them. We had a question from Mark who wanted to do driving part-time, having a full-time job and just on the weekends, and that is definitely can do that. You can just do it like a hobby, I guess. And then we got another one from Augustine who just got his license, wanting to know where to get jobs. Just on the mark, working weekends, I got one from Chris. He replied, you may have seen some of these. He actually done exactly the same thing, worked on weekends just like I did, just to top up my money, and he went casual doing groceries. Found a company that'll work in with him, just doing weekends. He did come up with a good point though, just be careful you don't burn yourself out, because you virtually will be working 7 days a week, 6 to 7 days a week. Especially if you want to do a bit of distance, you're probably working 7 days a week. So just remember that. Make sure you get time to get home, and most times get some sleep. Some of the times I didn't. I only get 4 or 5 hours, so I had to go back to work. So, but that was just unfortunate the way the freight run, and things happened. But it doesn't always happen like that. Try and find a company that that'll work with you, and there's quite a few out there that will. Agencies might be another way to go. He said he paid off his license fairly quick as well, so getting a bit of money coming in is probably a lot better than after you pay for initial costs is there, but you eventually start to get the money back once you start getting a job. Now, getting your license, there's been a few here about heavy rigid license. Armstrong's doing weekend courses. Quite a few companies do that now. You're looking at probably anything up to $1,800 if you want to do the crash box. It takes 2 days to do it. Probably do it over a Friday, Saturday, or even over a weekend. A lot of companies do it. Barclay's another one. This is in Melbourne, of course. I'm not familiar with the companies. They got branches, I guess, in all states. So you know, set aside around about $1,800. If you go get a day one, we only get an automatic license. Probably do that a little bit quicker. If you can, go for your crash box license, right? Or at least the manual license anyway. Synchro or something like that, because it could be a job where, as I mentioned before, it could be the perfect job you want, close to home, exactly what you need, and you might not be able to take it because you got to change gears. So yeah, if you can, do it. If you don't want to, there's plenty of automatic, definitely a lot of automatic trucks out there now, probably more than actual stick shift trucks. So finding a job, now that's Augustine wanted to know about how to find a job, and that's the hardest part. You just got to keep trying. Hang in there, something will come up. Takes a little bit of time, you just got to be lucky sometimes. Try the agencies, put your name down for them. We've got Black Dog here, who went to doing removalists. Now, it's not a job that I ever wanted to do, but someone's got to do it, don't they? I think it was just too hard to work for me, so I was getting a bit lazy. Another one, if you're moving up, and I'm not sure if they got heavy ridges, but Mickway, Chris mentioned them. They usually they like to put on some, give drivers a bit of experience, so that could be another one. I know they do B doubles, and I believe they got singles as well, and they do interstate, so that might be worth a try. And they got they're in every state, I believe. And Nathan mentioned waste companies. A lot of people don't want to do waste at the moment with China the way they're going. They're not accepting waste. There's probably but too many waste jobs out there. There's no recycling, it seems to be, anymore. But yeah, look, I've done waste paper, and it was quite a good job. So look into something like that as well. Doing the working for the councils, or actually not councils, they're actually JJ Richards Clean Away. They do all the local housing pickups, so try and get into those. Might not be the best job, but you're saying that company in South Dandenong is they're usually looking for drivers, so might not be the best job, but it might be a good start, and who knows, you might even like it. There's lots of different things that you don't think you're going to like, but you end up doing it. So that's just a couple of answers to the questions. Also got Steve wondering about getting a job if you've got a disability, getting a license. Well, we had a driver that couldn't hear and couldn't talk, and he had a heavy rigid job. We actually put him on. He was a good driver, actually. How he knew when to change gears, I don't know. He didn't seem to look at the rev counter either, but it was a synchro box. But yeah, he done really well. Good operator. So yeah, probably just best to contact whatever state you're in, the licensing there, and tell them about your disability. And there's always different ways of doing things. That doesn't mean you can't get a truck license just because you've got a bit of a disability. There's always ways around it. So that's just I'll just do this quickly, and that's just a couple of the answers to some of the questions about the indicators to say thank you. I still do it. I wasn't going to stop that. It doesn't really hurt. I don't think it's going to cause a major accident. You flash your lights and do some indicators. And we mentioned something about the other YouTube videos, ones that do videos, and there's some good ones out there. Dave mentioned Luke C in a HGV. It's actually he does some good videos. I haven't checked out the other ones yet that he mentioned, but I'll get onto that. And Neil's mentioned you get the same things in the UK. I think that trucking all over the world, you get the same problems. Trying to find jobs and trying to find good jobs, and it seems to be the way of the trucking industry around the world. When you look at videos, they all seem to come up with the same things. The waiting around, the not enough pay, and not getting paid for what you do, and yeah, it's just a common thing. Harvest of Sorrows want to know Rod Pillen Dubbo. Now, Rod Pillen's been in Dubbo for a long time, ever since I remember, and he does a lot of road train work. So yeah, Pete was just happened to be going through Dubbo. He said Rod Pillen country, or Rod Pillen territory. Yeah, he's been up there a long time. I've been to his yard up there. We used to do the road trains up there. I used to go up there and help hook them up and take the ones back for any empties, come back to Sydney with them, or full ones at that matter. Most of the time they're empty. So Rod Pillen's fairly well known in Dubbo. Also had a question, but on a different video I did, about coming to Australia and using your license. Now you can't come, and I believe that's every country. You can't, if you got a license in another country, you can't come to Australia and drive. And that's just, if you just want to come over for holiday and just have a bit of a go, no, you can't do that. You can't use your license. You have to be a resident or have a job here to be able to drive the truck. So you can't just come over and say, oh, I might just give it a bit of a go. It'd be good if you could, but no, they won't let you. And you got to understand it's different rules and different regulations, and even though you might be experienced in the country you're living in, definitely come over and drive a car, but no, trucks are out of the question. And I haven't found a country yet that's like that. So another video someone mentioned was Indiana Jack. He's a US driver. He done quite some good videos. Apparently he's not, I haven't watched him for a while, but apparently he doesn't do that anymore. He's actually gone off the road. So working in an office, I believe someone's saying, but I haven't watched his videos for a while. So I'll just just some quick answers to the questions. And of course, Wimpy just mentioned about another thing about the agencies, recruitment companies. Mainly all temporary jobs or just casual. Might only be 1 or 2 days, but at least it'll give you a little bit of experience if you. And once they get you to know that you really want to work, they usually keep throwing the work at you. So you won't be in the same place all the time. That's the only downside of that. When I was with the agency, I tried to get more of a permanent job. And just went out when they didn't have any work where I was actually working all the time. So that's just the way it is, but you're still making money. So I'll leave it there. Any more questions, or anyone that knows companies that might put you on for inexperience, just let us know and we'll pass it on. It's now September and things are still pretty quiet. There's not much freight around, so there's probably not much work around either. Like, it'll start to pick up, but you're only going to have a 3-month window, so you've probably got a good chance of getting a job now, but really prove yourself if you can get on the next 3 months, because that's about the only time you've got. And if they find that you really want to work, you'll probably get on full time. But you got to remember, after Christmas things slow down up until February, March. Actually, this year's been a really quiet year, maybe because of all this trouble we're having in China, but no one's buying anything, and of course the prices have all gone up, which is unfortunate. Trouble, if you get no imports, you possibly don't need to transport as much, so that's probably the downside of working in the transport industry. Helps Australia, of course, especially manufacturing, but it does reduce the transport down a bit because there's less containers coming in and less to be distributed. So what hurts, or what helps one hurts another. So that's just the way things are. And the waste industry at the moment, where there's no recycling, it's a bit hard too. So they probably reduced a few of their drivers. But things do pick up. They usually have 1 year where it's really bad and then it starts to pick up again. I guess that's like in a lot of industries. Food's probably if you can get into food, go to these Coles, Woolworths, whoever transports for them. You do, usually you're busy all the time, everyone's got to eat. But you got to remember these companies keep changing. They lose their contract and someone else takes it over, so you might have to just shift around a bit. But companies like Aldi, I've worked for them. They're not too bad to work for. A lot of shift work. You just got to be prepared to work weekends, and that's like all grocery deliveries. Most time you're on a roster system where you got to work weekends as well. Weekends is where you're making money. Night times when you're making money as well. You pay a little bit extra. But Aldi wasn't too well when I worked for them. Wasn't too bad to work for, but things change. I heard they got a little bit pushy there at one stage. So they're the things to look out for. Things like Border Express, where we haul for, it's most of their drivers are owner drivers. They don't have too many rigid drivers. They've got some company rigids, but most of the interstate is contractors. And I've actually seen a letter at Borders for anyone interested in buying their own trucks, and they'll give you the work. So if you can get in there and you want your own truck, maybe that's another way to go. I think a lot of companies do now. There are a lot of owner drivers in doing local. Mainfreight's another one. Well, I don't think they've got any of their own trucks. I think all their interstate trucks are company trucks or contractors. We got the same. We got Mainfreight trucks painted up Mainfreight colours, as you'd have to. So you just got to look around and probably get into these companies, but actually working for a contractor, not actually working for the company. And I was talking to a driver up here, and that's what he did. He actually worked for the contractor for the company. So just look out for those jobs as well. If you see them advertised, see what they want. If you see a job advertised more than one time, they might be struggling to find drivers too, and they might just give you a bit of a go if you haven't had much experience or any experience. Because sometimes there's a lot more drivers out there than there is driving jobs, and sometimes the other way around. There's not enough drivers for the jobs, especially around this time of year. So look out for those, and if you see them advertised 2 or 3 times, just give them a call. Just see, okay, I haven't had much experience, but I'm willing to put in, and just see what you come up with. A lot of construction going on at the moment too, so a lot of tipper jobs. It's funny they're not well liked in Sydney, especially from interstate drivers, but I don't have a problem with them. So we'll leave this here, and any more questions, and I apologise for taking so long for this video. As I said, I downloaded it and didn't work, so I had to redo it. And being at night, it's a bit dark, so I'm actually up here during the day, of course, and I go to bed, and yeah, travel mostly at night, although the sun's coming up a little bit earlier now, so I might have to change my schedule. But yeah, I might have to change my schedule. So we'll leave this here, and any more questions, and I apologise for taking so long for this video. As I said, I downloaded it and didn't work, so I had to redo it. And being at night, it's a bit dark, so I'm actually up here during the day, of course, and I go to bed, and until daylight savings changes, we might have a bit of daylight. I'm leaving late now at 10:30, usually both ends, so I won't still be travelling in the dark, but at least the sun will be coming up when I'm actually going into Sydney or Melbourne. So look around, keep looking, have about $1,800 if you want to get your license. If you want to move up, I think it's quite a bit, about $3,000. If you want to go to MC or HC, I think it's cheap. I think it's $5,000 someone mentioned for an MC license now. I mean, I got mine for free because the government paid for it when they closed down the Defence Department and privatised it. They gave us some money for training, so I got mine. It was only about $2,000 then. Actually, I think it was less than $2,000 because that's all I had, and I done a refresher course on driving as well. So the actual license is probably only about $1,000, but yeah, it's definitely gone up since I've had mine. And yeah, so just keep in mind the costs, but and you've got to pay that up front. So make sure you want to do it before you start spending that sort of money. Make sure it's something you really want to do, because it's a lot of money to waste if you don't want to, if you change your mind. But you've always got it if you need someone to, you know, someone needs to hire a truck to help them move or something like that, which probably will happen if you've got to, once you get your license, that'll happen. I've actually used a one for myself when I was moving, so it come in handy. And the hire a truck wasn't that more expensive than hiring a few trailers, so probably the better way to go and move everything in. I had 2 trips, but yeah, it wasn't too bad at all. The trouble when you hire something, it always comes back late. So you get a late start and then you got a late finish the next day. And yeah, I think when I hired the truck, it was 3 hours late coming back, and that put me about 11 o'clock at night time I finished. So those things happen, I guess. Even if you're not driving in transport, you still get delayed. Alright, any more questions? Anything you need to know? See if we can answer it, or see if someone else can answer it if I can't. Most times I can't, I don't know everything. So we'll get things out there and see if anyone else knows. And see what we can find out. I will be doing the rest of the Hume Highway. I started it, but there's a piece missing. My computer crashed, so there is a piece missing, and that's from Chiltern to the other side of the border. So I'll have to, it's getting the sun's going down about 6 o'clock, and I just haven't got the time to finish it because I'm actually in the dark before it gets there. So I will finish that, and that's only a little piece. It's like about an hour and a half missing. So I'll get onto that soon. I'll leave it early on a Sunday and finish that off, and that way we get the whole Hume Highway in. I'll finish off what I was doing there, and that way you'll get to see it. Someone has done the Hume Highway in real time, but actually done it over a whole continuous of 10 hours. So unless you want to sit there for 10 hours and remember where you've got to come back to, you can see that as well. I think someone else has actually broke it up as well, but they were actually in the car at the time, not in the truck. So stay safe, and keep looking for those jobs. If you really want a job, keep looking for it. Something will turn up. Remember to talk to a lot of people, and if you're getting deliveries, talk to their drivers that come in and do deliveries. Say, oh, do you know anyone that might want to, might be looking for a driver? I haven't had much experience. So yeah, just keep looking. Don't give up, and you will find something eventually. I did. I was pretty quick, and a lot of people do find things quick, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer. we actually got a son getting his license very soon, in about 2 weeks. So he'll be in the same boat as everybody else, trying to find that first job. Of course, there's nothing where we work because we don't have rigids. We only have B doubles running interstate, so, and B doubles local, but we've already got a local driver, so yeah, it makes it a little bit hard. So we'll don't give up. And yeah, keep looking. Alright guys, stay safe, and I'll endeavour to do another video very soon.